is a tour around all the places in the site of your SAMA course. So this is the home page of your course, where you will have the welcome announcement, where you have very basic information here, as well as this very tour. Most of the information is going to be contained in these tabs in the navigation bar here. So in the tab content is where most of your course is going to be. So let's click at content, and here we have a table of contents with another navigation bar here at the left. So the overview that appear here of the class explain what are the class activities for the first week and for all the other weeks. Essentially, each week has the same structure. 2 units are going to be covered each week and are explained in this diagram. So you start the week by watching the lesson and reading the lesson in the textbook. And then on Monday is the deadline for the homework. On Tuesday is the deadline for your forum post. And on Wednesday is the deadline for the quiz. And so after that, everything starts over again, meaning that on Wednesday you watch the lesson and read the lesson of the following one. And then on Thursday you have the homework, Friday the forum, and Saturday the quiz. So these are going to be then the 2 units that you will have in all the weeks. So watch the lesson and read the lesson, do the homework, do the forum, and do the quiz. And then start over. Watch and read the lesson, do the homework, do the forum, and do the quiz. So every week the structure is going to be the same. So except for the first week, that besides these activities, the homework in the first week, the homework is due on Thursday, the forum is due on Friday, and the quiz is due on Saturday, but also you have an extra introduction post that is due on Sunday of the first week. Well, let's explain a little bit what is each of these things, right? The forum, the homework, the quiz, and the introduction. When we go to each of the weeks, for instance, in the week 1, so we click in week 1, that is going to be the structure of all the lessons. You have here the learning objectives for the lesson, and here read the textbook and watch the video are the things that I mentioned before. These are the things that you have to do yourself, right? You have to click here, and here is the lesson. So that's the first thing that you do. You read the lesson in the book. Also, you can watch the lessons. So besides reading the lessons, you can watch the lessons, the same lesson. And so here you have a list of videos. Let's click the first one.
Welcome to an introduction to Angle.
This will be then the video lesson. And then after you read the textbook and watch the lesson, then you attempt the homework. So click in the homework, and so you'll start. So start the homework. Each question are different types. So in this case, for instance, you have to draw an angle. So you will draw and submit your question. And so you go to all the other questions, right? You go to the second question. So you have here this question of some other type. So there are different types of questions. These are just example of the type of questions that you can get in the homework. And then when you finish the homework, let's go back then to this unit. Once that you finish the homework, you have to do the forum. The forum is where you are going to choose a problem from the homework list. This list of homeworks that I just showed So choose one of them and you are going to write down the solution. But you need to write it down with explanations. You need to use complete sentences and explain all your steps. And so when you finish, you make a PDF and that is what you are going to submit as your forum post. Okay, so from the list of homework problems, you are going to choose one problem. Should be the problem of your choice, only you have to be sure that nobody have chosen that problem before, so be sure that you read other people's forums, and so you choose another one. And once that you choose your problem, you write down the solution, all the steps with all the explanations. So no, shouldn't be just formulas, should be formulas and also words, sentences where you explain how you solve the problem. And finally, the quiz is like the homework. It's not available yet, right? Because the quizzes are available only during a particular period, and also once that you start the quiz, you have only half an hour to finish it. So the kind of problems in the quiz are the same same kind of problems that in the homework, only that in the quiz you need to do it in half an hour. And that's it. So that is what all the lessons are going to be. All of them are going to be the same. You have to read and watch videos. So that will be the first thing that you do for each unit. And then you need to do the homework, the quiz, and the forum. And when you finish that, go to the next lesson. Let's look at the week 2 and everything start again. Read the textbook, watch the lessons, homework, quiz, and forum. So these are then all the things that are going to be in each lesson. So let's go to some extra resources that you have here. Let's check here in getting started. You have this introduction to MyOpenMath. That would be nice that if you do beforehand. This doesn't have any points attached to it, but it's for you to get use of how to enter answers in the software. So let's click here. So let's see, let's start it. So you will have here, for instance, how to enter numerical answer. Well, you read all this and then you try here by entering here, and you see here what the software says. You check another question, explain how to enter fractions, for instance. You try, enter fractions until you get it right. This is just for you to get familiar then with how to enter answers in MyOpenMath. Okay, so this is essentially then all what the structure of each week is going to be. Let's go back to the page of content and let's look at the elements that you have here in the table of contents. Here, the first one says instruction information. So here is my email address. Essentially, here is where you can reach me. You should send me an email, any question that you may have. And the second one is very important, since it's the syllabus. So let's click in the syllabus, and in here you have all the information and all the policies of this class. So it's very important that you read all this, understand it, and abide by it. So be sure that you do that. So you need to read specifically every single section of this syllabus. And then you have also the structure of each class. That is a repetition of what I said before. On Monday is the deadline for homework, Tuesday the deadline for forum, Wednesday the deadline for quiz. And so on Thursday, the deadline for the homework of the next lesson, deadline for forum, and deadline for quiz. Always, every week is the same. In the week 4 is added also a midterm exam here, and in the last week of classes is added here a final exam. So these are essentially all the assessments that you will have in this class: homework, forum, plus the introduction, quizzes, exam 1 and exam 2, which are also called midterm exam and final exam. So these are then all the assessments that you will have in this class. And the details about the grades, how the grades is distributed, is all contained in the syllabus. We can go over the syllabus in detail in the first synchronous class, but in any case, you need to read it yourself and be sure that you are very familiar with the syllabus. So be sure also that you are very familiar with all the tabs in the class. So you should click each one by one. First week, that is what we visited before. In getting started, you have here the introduction to My Open Math that I already mentioned. You have here also the link to the introduction forum, though all the forums are also available when you go here to assessments. Here, click here, assessments, discussions. So in discussions, you have here all the forums of this class. The first one, the introduction, is this one. That is where you should write your introduction. You click here, start a new thread, you put your subject, you put your content, and you add as an attachment the PDF of your post. So this is the first one, the introduction forum, but then you have all the other forums in this class, since you have a forum for each unit. So in the forum 1, for instance, is where you have to write your first explanation of a homework problem. So you click here, forum 1, and you do what I just said. Start a new thread, you put your subject, you put your content, and you put here add attachments, and you attach the PDF with the content of the solution of your homework problem. You will need to do that for each of the units in this class. Okay, so this is essentially all the basics of how this class will work, and all the places in the website of the class.